Join me as I show you my first Azure Standard order. Welcome to White Shadow Fare. Make it homemade and make it with love. So here you can see all of the things that I bought. This was in February of 2025. I've been wanting to order from Azure, and I found a drop area in my local vicinity. I started off by buying some coconut cream powder. This is something I just wanted to try in my coffee. It was $9.98, and I'd give it about a 4 out of 5. It didn't work out the way that I wanted, but it is delicious. My search for the perfect coffee creamer replacement continues. I do look forward to adding this to some baked goods and maybe some granola. You can see the ingredient list right on Azure Standard's website, and the ingredients are extremely clean. Next up, I bought some green lentils. They were $6.14 for this 36-ounce package, and they are a 5 out of 5. They're beautiful, they're clean. I'm going to be using these to make some Ezekiel bread here in the future. I purchased Sue Becker's cookbook, and I look forward to making that Ezekiel bread here in the next month. I bought some dent corn, yellow corn, that 5 pounds for $9.07. I want to try making my own cornmeal. I haven't done that yet, so I'm thinking some corn muffins, cornbread, all the good things to be made with that, and it is definitely a 5 out of 5, very clean. I felt very lucky. We have 2 Azure Standard drops within a 20-minute drive in either direction. So far, I'm pretty pleased with what I'm seeing. Next up, I bought some hulled millets for $7.80 for a 5-pound packet, and I'm giving that 4 out of 5 stars. I did find some things in there that I wasn't sure of, some dark things that I'm going to have to pick through. I've never bought millet before, so I could be off there. But next, I bought some hulled barley for $1.88 for 33 ounces. That seemed like a reasonable price to me, and once again, this will be used for Ezekiel bread. I gave this a 4 out of 5 because I found some things in there that I didn't want, some rocks and so forth. Now, it's not something that I have ever purchased before, so I don't know. The rolled oats for $8.60 for 5 pounds were delicious, and all of these have such clean ingredients. That's the one thing when you're buying from there. You know, you're buying a lot of organic items and there's no fillers or anything. So these were absolutely beautiful and have made some wonderful bowls of oatmeal. I'll be using it for granola. Highly recommend their oats. Then I got some einkorn grain, 33 ounces for $6.85. Wanted to give this a try. I've heard people talk about baking with it. I've just never done that. So I'm giving that a 5 out of 5 stars. It was beautiful. It was clean, not dusty at all. And looking forward to making some fabulous loaves of bread with that in the future. The only thing that scares me about einkorn is people say that it's earthy flavored. So I'm not sure if I love that, but I wanted to step out of my comfort zone. All right, next up is some rye, 5 pounds for $5.24. There's nothing in there but rye berries, and this will be added to my starter because starter loves rye, and of course I'll be making some rye bread. So it is definitely a 5 out of 5, very clean, dust-free. Highly recommend this. So far, I'm really pleased with everything I've gotten. Coconut. Now, this is a form of a cleaner sugar cane. I'm giving this 5 out of 5. Really pleased with the way that it tastes. It's kind of thicker. It's dehydrated cane juice, super sweet, and if it's healthier than white sugar, then I'm willing to give it a try. And I've been putting it in my coffee. The bag is coated in plastic. I know lots of people are trying to avoid plastic. I put it in some baked goods already. Delicious. Now, they are thicker granules, so you'll have to keep that in mind. It's going to take a little bit more to dissolve them. Red wheat, 25 pounds for $22.81. Fantastic price on that. Comes in this enormous bag. And I'm giving this 4 out of 5 because it is really, it's clean. I'm not finding any debris in it, but it is so dusty. And I've never purchased anything from them before, so the other grains I've purchased elsewhere have been completely dust-free. Measuring cups for $10.38 a piece. I bought 3 of them, 5 out of 5, maybe a little bit expensive, but they go great in my buckets of greens. I bought some aluminum-free baking powder for $5.18. This is about the same price that you would pay in the store. It's definitely a 5 out of 5 trying to get rid of the aluminum in our life. This is by far my favorite thing that I bought. It is tomato powder. 1 pound for $15.26, which seems a little bit high, but I have been adding this to everything. I love adding it to some rice when we're having Mexican food. It makes, just add a little bit of water, it makes paste, add a lot of water, and it'll make tomato sauce. I make homemade tomato powder myself, but it is not nearly as good as theirs was. Then I bought this large jar of raw honey. It's the clover kind. I know they refrigerate everything, so everything either comes refrigerated or frozen on their truck. So it was solid. It's just such a light color, and I'm not used to that. The color when coming back to liquid was clear, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. The flavor is okay. I'll probably order this one more time. I bought these lids to go on these canning jars that I ordered, except the canning jars already came with lids, number one, and they have a smaller mouth to them than what the lids would fit. So now I have lids. I've got to order the right jars the next time I order from them. Very reasonably priced on the jars and those lids, though. Jars and lids both get 5 out of 5. So I'm started filling up my rye container here. You can see it going in. There's no dust. Beautiful. Highly recommend their greens at this point. Like I said, the red hard wheat is extremely dusty. That is something that is a little bit of a bummer. We're cooking with it and it tastes just fine. Other than dust, we have no other debris. So I filled up my containers. These were the half-gallon jars that I purchased, and they were perfect for some of the smaller things that I bought. I think this is the hulled barley, and you can see that it fits in there, so it's easy for me to grab. But you can see I didn't notice this at first, but there was a hole in the bottom of the bag, and they just put some tape over it. It kind of bummed me out a little bit. I need to put the label on the outside because I won't know what it is otherwise. So once I got all of that filled, I was ready to kind of move on with my day. Very pleased with what I've gotten so far. One of the things I don't show you is I did buy their raw cheddar cheese. Absolutely delicious. I bought 3 of these 3.5-gallon buckets for $26.97 for all 3 of them. I thought that was a reasonable price. I compared it online. But then online I found a cheaper deal on the Gamma lids, so I bought those online instead of from Azure. So this is the cheese that I bought. $48.59 for this 5-pound-ish loaf. They weigh each loaf and then charge you accordingly, and it's a 5 out of 5. We really enjoy the flavor of this. So it can be used for snacks. We've been shredding it to put it into our Mexican meals. We've had grilled cheese with it. Really highly recommend it, and it's on sale for the next month, so it'll be a little bit cheaper. So here I am making my coffee, and it looks good, it feels creamy. I just don't taste any coconut flavor, which is kind of what I was hoping for when I make the coffee. It would require me to add so much, and it is high in fat. So if you're cooking with something, I know a lot of ethnic foods use coconut in them. I think it would be totally fine for that. But for my coffee, it just wasn't working. I know I read a bunch of reviews where people said that they use it in their morning coffee. It's high in fat, and I just don't want to add that much where I need to get the flavor of the coconut. But there's the sucanut going in. Give it a stir, and it melts very easily in something hot. So I'm keeping that in mind for any of the recipes that I use, that I might need to add a little bit of liquid to the sucanut and melt it down so that I don't end up with crystals of sugar in my baked goods. I think it could be a delicious coffee creamer for most people. It's just not what I was looking for. So here's my total, $279. Shipping was $23.79, so $303. Thank you for watching my first Azure Standard haul.